It is Bri with Upcycled by Bri, and I am here tonight with a live thrift haul. I'm going to adjust this down just a little bit. It's so hard to tell what y'all are going to be able to see before I push the live button. How is everybody this evening? Hello, Miss Jane Brown. Hello, Bethany. When y'all hop on, say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. So I think this is the third week in a row I have been live on a Friday night here over on YouTube. So maybe this is our thing, right? I shop all week and then I come on and show y'all what I got. Tell you what I paid, what I plan to do, and how much it's listed for. If you're new, everything is already up on my website. I have dropped the collection in the comments, and I can drop links as we go if you need me to. Just ask. So I just did a small haul this week. I needed to go get boxes from my very favorite thrift store here in town called The Giving Tree. They always give us free boxes, which is amazing for shipping, but then I always have to shop. Everything you see, except for these guys, came from that store. It was 30% off. I get 30% off anytime I want because I'm a vendor at the antique mall. Same owner as the thrift store. Amazing. Hello, Terry. It looks like we have got 18 people on, so we're going to get started. Is Suki on? Hello. Excuse me. All right, what first? This is a cute little farmhouse haul. Very like traditional farmhouse in my opinion. Let's start with the bunk pan. If y'all have been following me for a while, y'all know I love bunk pans. I like big bunks and I cannot lie. I used to have a wall in my kitchen that ran a little horizontal space above my sink where I lined them up. And I also lined them up once above my back door. And I love that look, but I don't have all of them anymore. So I think I need to start another collection. I'm gonna go ahead and pass this one on. It is $10.95. I paid $1. I love that sagey green, and then it kind of gets darker as it goes down. This one does look also like it's still in usable condition too, if you bake. I'm not a baker. Jane says she remembers the wall of bunk pans. Yes, ma'am. Jane's been following me for a while now. Okay, so I showed these. I think I just showed them in stories. I don't think I've talked about them yet. These are stinking adorable. And I was almost sad to mess with them, but these aren't in very good shape. So this was like a corn set, corn on the cob set, right? Vintage. The corn stabbers I would not feel comfortable putting them in my food. So I decided I would upcycle these things. I took some citrus strip and stripped down the varnish and the stain off of the little bowl here. And these are handcrafted, so I wanted to save them. I stripped the stain off. I think I'm gonna bleach them. This one's still wet. I just did this earlier today. I think I'm gonna bleach the wood down to try to get it a little bit lighter. Maybe a little white wax or hemp oil. And these are just gonna be really cute little catch-all trays. Super farmhouse. And then I'm seeing like handles or pegs for hanging. Excuse me. Robin says, hey friends, she recognizes a lot of these people from Jamie and Zeb's live. I have so many friends that found me from Jamie and Zeb, and I'm one of their retailers, so it is definitely a tight-knit community around here. So how would you guys upcycle these? They could be little finials on the top of something, make little cloches. Not sure quite what to do with the stabbers yet, but I thought these made some adorable, like, they almost look like little dough bowls in my opinion. So I have these listed individually, just selling them singly. And they'll take a little bit of work, but I thought they were worth it since they were handmade, and they'll be $12.95 each. But I'm thinking like keys, jewelry, wallet, rings by the kitchen sink or whatever. Really, really cute little farmhouse catch-all trays. I'm gonna do the same thing to the bowls. And again, they're sold individually at $12.95. Oh, Robin says finials is feet. These would actually make some good little feet, Robin. Good call. And I imagine if I grab some pliers, I could yank the little pokey things out. Or, like, what's soft that I could put? I don't know, floral foam or something. I don't know. We'll keep working on that idea. But I couldn't pass it up. Okay, so this set of bowls $2.99. So I ended up paying like $2 for the set of 6. I think one's still downstairs. These were 25 cents a piece. So I couldn't really pass up the good handmade wooden items for that price. Yeah, Jane said she likes the lighter wood, and it still looks kind of yucky in a couple spots because it's not dry yet. And then like right here, it didn't really take it off, so I'll just use a little sandpaper and even it out, but it's going to be really pretty. Just wait. I'm going to work on those this weekend, so I'll get them posted up by the end of the weekend with new pictures. If y'all didn't mind hitting the thumbs up button on this, I would appreciate it. That's going to help me in the YouTube algorithms. And I always forget to ask about that. And then if you have a friend who you don't see on, go ahead and send this out to them. Let them know I'm live. Okay, another piece of brass. I decided after today I might slow down on the brass just a little. It's selling really well, but I typed in brass on my website and I've got like 20 pieces of brass up right now. This little guy is only $9.95 and I love the double handles. Thank you, Miss Jane. She thumbs up for me. Love the little handles. This was originally a Richmond Gordman for $15. And there's another little sticker. No, there was another sticker under that, but it looks like it's gone. But it's got some amazing patina inside. There's a little bit that needs cleaned up. Don't look at that. I'm thinking for fall, I've got a ton of these pots that have the best patina on the inside. I'm going to figure out how I can like set them, display them to where they look like they're almost falling over. But that way you can actually see the best part of the patina. Terry says she's new to YouTube, so she'll figure it out. Terry, if you want a thumbs up, if you look right below, if you're watching on an iPad or a phone, look right below the picture, and there's just a little thumbs up button you can hit. And over on the right side of that, there should be a little arrow, and it says share underneath it. So play around with it. If you can figure it out, great. If not, take your time, and as soon as you can someday, you'll figure it out. It's not too hard. All right, these little vintage calendars always do really, really well for me. And I saw this one at the store. I didn't take the time to check the numbers and the months. I just went with it because I only paid, I think it was $2 for this after my discount. I was like, oh, I'll risk it. And they're all here. So I counted them. I laid them all out earlier, and they're all here. They've got some really cute stenciling work done on them, and a couple of them are even like a little distressed. You can tell it's had some love. You have to close the chat to get the thumbs up, then click back into the live. Oh goodness, that sounds like a lot of work. Y'all can always click the thumbs up before the live starts too. And just FYI, I appreciate it. Or wait till we're done and you can do it then. There's a couple of them that were like, you can tell they're hand stenciled and they were a little messed up, which I think makes them great. What I don't like so much is the top of this. So it does say in the listing, I will be removing the cat and the fence, and I will do some decoupage or some stenciling up there. I like how this one has the rounded top. A cute little rounded stencil would look really good right there. It is missing a nail for the months, so I'll stick another nail in it. Get it all fixed up and ready to go. And this one's only $16.95 because it's not as big. And I do have the dimensions of all of my items in the listings. I try to always do that for you. I don't always say them on the live, but they should be in the listing. Oh, Carolyn has an idea. So how I said I want the bowls to tip. She said use a piece of scrap wood, cut it into a wedge, place a strip of the removable double sticky tape on it, and press the brass bowls onto the tape. So you'll have your little wedge, you put a little sticky thing, wedge, sticky tape. You're a genius. Carolyn, do you do a lot of decorating in your own home, or do you have a booth, or how do you have those cute little staging trips? Not even cute, smart. We might need to talk. All right, I touched him. Let's talk about him. My heart. My heart went pitter-patter when I walked by these guys. Solid brass pheasants, a pair of them. Look at the tails. First of all, you want to talk about weapon grade decor. I know my JRV fans know what I'm referring to. But I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Hello, Jeannie. How are you tonight? I really want to keep them. I have so many brass animals, and I really said I was going to stop keeping things until I got my house put back together. So I listed them at $69.95, which is kind of about this price I was seeing one at on eBay. But I'm not eBay. I just want to hold them. My home is done in mostly vintage. I'm thinking about doing a booth, but I haven't been brave enough yet to do it, says Carolyn. Carolyn, if you really are, if it's calling you, do it. Start small. Jane says she got one in a box in an auction this past weekend. So Jane, my friend Rachel got one. Found one out shopping just a week ago. I've never seen the pheasants before, and now they're popping up everywhere. Yeah, I didn't want to say it, ladies. I don't know if YouTube likes those words or not, but it's sharp. Okay, so I'll put them down. I'll quit being so weird and obsessive. They've got some patina on them. I'm not going to clean them up. And if they don't sell, darn. But I thought those would be gorgeous for fall with some wheat up on a mantle. I staged them up on top of some books. Terry wouldn't trust herself to own those. I know, I was carrying them up the stairs and I'm like holding them out here like scissors. Don't run with them. Cute little trivet. This has some amazing rust patina on it. You can clean it up if you'd like, or you can seal it up if you'd like. If it were me, I would leave it just like this. I might throw a clear coat on it, but I'd probably actually let it rust a little bit more. And I like to hang these on the wall. They're just like a perfect little accent if you've got a weird little nook, you just don't know what to hang. A couple of these trivets are a perfect little accent. Of course, you could clean this up and use it functionally too. Yeah, Jane, I'm thinking the pheasants fall into winter. I have enough brass critters now that I can kind of change them out seasonally. I have deer for the fall and winter right now, but I thought those would be amazing. Okay, here's another thing I'm having a hard time parting with. Excuse me. I saw this. I went thrifting live on Facebook the other day. If y'all aren't following me over there, be sure to do that because that's where I've been doing my live thrifts and it's so much fun. I'm still practicing like slowing down with the camera and stuff, but it's been good. I went back in the craft section. I did like a clothing loop after I got off of my live, ran through the craft section and saw this and I was like, oh, that's a cute little vintage container. And I was like, I wonder what's inside of it. And I opened it up and it is these vintage cookie cutters. And they're like letters and numbers. I don't even think it's a full set of anything. It's just nonsense. And they're rusty and crusty, not usable. But y'all know I had to have them. I paid $2. I have them listed up at $14.95. What I thought would be super cute would be to like put them inside of a mason jar in a like holiday baking vignette, or even maybe just a few of these like on a tiered tray or in a little like white ironstone dish. Obsessed. Hey Teresa B DIY, how are you, darling? I still haven't used my epoxy, don't even ask. I'll get there. I've been watching yours though. I'm getting inspired. It's gonna be happening soon. It will happen soon. Yeah, Stephanie says they're so little. Stephanie, that's another reason I wanted them, because they're so tiny. And it's like, who makes cookies this little? Or do you think they were like for a play set? Do we buy here or on your site? Terry, everything is pre-listed on my site. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here in the chat for you, Terry. And you can click over there. It'll take you right into this thrift haul collection. And you can check out all your information and everything. Will go on the checkout page. It'll calculate shipping for you. Makes it super easy. I just dropped the link there for you, darling. And Teresa says that's funny. I said I haven't done the epoxy yet. Teresa's really good with epoxy. If y'all aren't following her over on the IGs, do so. She's been making some really cool cutting boards I'm obsessed with. Stephanie, you do what for your pup? I already forgot what we were talking about. My bad. Okay, so yes, those are little and cute and metal and rusty. Y'all know I was all about it. And if you were watching, I was like, I just want to look at the baskets. I'm not going to touch. I'm not going to buy them. I just want to look. And y'all let me do it every time. Jane says she makes fancy cutting boards. Yes, she does. The fanciest. Okay, so I found these two little baskets. This one's marked Japan, which is super cool. I don't know if I've ever found a Japan basket before. Maybe a couple. But these two, they were like $1/4 a piece, so I paid next to nothing. These are great in basket walls. They give a little bit of depth, so a little bit of pop or 3D-ness, whatever you want to say, to your basket wall. They don't lay completely flat, but they don't stick out so far that it's awkward. Oh, you make little cookies for your dog, Stephanie says. That makes sense. Sorry, I forgot what I had said. And then this one, I think it was like $1 after my discount. It's got a little bit of breakage right here and like right here. And I almost thought about doing like a dark wash or a dark wax to make it look even more old and broken. But then I got the three together and I was like, oh, these are perfect. The perfect little trio. And so I priced them reasonably, $14.95 for the set of 3 to make a great little trio. Like think about like, this was a little side table or whatever. You have your little basket wall up on the wall and then this with a potted plant in it. And just pulling those wood tones from, you know, mid-level up is really going to help the eye move around the room. So the tones all worked really good. I was like, yeah, this looks like a set to me. And if those don't sell, they're going in my room. Yeah, Stephanie says she likes the shape of this one. I thought it was unique. This would look so cute with some lavender in it. So make a cute lavender basket or like a real live, like boho-y looking setup. Teresa said she's going to start selling her boards soon. Do it, girlfriend. They're amazing. And Christmas is coming up. Be perfect time to hop on that opportunity. Okay. This was another one I said I was going to keep on my live, but I only have one set of ironstone bowls. It's a set of 3 mixing bowls I bought from Jamie, actually. And I love them. They're the ones I cook with, but I don't really have an ironstone display, so I thought I would give somebody else the opportunity at this one because it's pretty amazing. And if it doesn't sell, then I'll keep it. So, on the bottom, it is marked Genuine Ironstone Ware, the Eye Brothers of Japan, oven and craze proof. Now, even though it says it's craze proof, it's got some pretty amazing, really light crazing on this side. Not sure if y'all could see it super great on camera, and it does have a couple of little chippies on it. Because it was chipped, I only paid $2 for it. You can't even hardly see the chips. I have it listed up at $39.95, and then it's also got the little hole in the lid. I mean, I'd say the inside is fine. Like, I would make tea in it. Whereas, I don't know. I would probably still use it, but I'll let that be up to y'all. Hey, Bethany, she finally made a live. Welcome, darling. I'm about 3/4 of the way through this thrift haul, so you might have to catch the replay to catch the beginning, but we're going to paint something too. So I don't know. What do y'all think about this? I thought it was a really unique shape. I liked just the very simple straight line handle, just very clean and modern. And of course, if you took the lid off, it would look amazing with some floral in it. Sunflowers, lavender, peonies. You could use this all year round. And it would add some really nice height to a display as well. I think we're going to set this up here. remind me to show you guys these if I forget. Okay, a couple more things. Let's go with this big old basket that I wasn't supposed to buy, but it's beautiful. Oh, Teresa said she needs a wash pitcher to go with the bowl for my dry sink I brought from you last year. I just literally donated one. It was massive. But private message me about the size you want, and I will start looking. I see them all the time, but I don't buy them because they don't sell in my booth, and they're hard to ship, but I will ship one for you. Yes, Jane, that's what they are. Clever. Thank you, ma'am. I'll show them in just a few. Okay, so this basket, super big, right? Very, very big, amazing shape with the lid, and it was $3. So I just couldn't. I never see them with this shape with the lid. The lid's a little tricky to get off. It fits on there snug, which I actually like, but it does come off. Just gotta finagle it around. The bottom is dyed kind of red. And I don't know why exactly. Maybe there was something in it. But then it has the red and the green stripes. So I listed it as a Christmas basket. I thought about painting the stripes on here. Either black or white would look really just nice and clean and a little more modern. But then I was like, well, Christmas is coming up and I'm doing Christmas in July. So let's see if anybody wants it this way. It'll be great for staging my Christmas projects. And then if it doesn't sell this way, then I can paint the red and the green down the road. But isn't this fabulous? And it's only $29.95. I've been trying to price my baskets reasonably because I've got a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, it's like, y'all love how I hug my junk. It's like sturdy, like it's not a flimsy one at all. So, okay, that's an old basket, says Terry. Terry, I don't see any markings on it, but I wondered. I mean, I don't ever see them like this. So, okay, I bought some baskets, but I think they were worth it. All right, 2 more things, and then y'all can help me decide which one you want to paint. I was hunting for rolling pins. I cannot find rolling pins anywhere, and my displays are empty. I'm so sad. Did not find rolling pins, but I found this cutting board, and you can tell it is like reproduced or whatever. It's got these little felty things on it so it can sit on a counter. And it looks like somebody served some food with it and it stained it and they just gave up and donated it. So I figured we could paint it and do a fun stencil on it and it can be a decor board. I could have sanded it down, but honestly, I just didn't think it was worth it. So we'll do a little stain blocker and paint it. I think I paid $3, I do believe, for that, and I have it listed at $23.95. For fall, you could put corn maze in the big basket. Yes, ma'am. And Teresa, I'm thinking like, even though it's red and green, it's pretty muted. So I think fall into Christmas, it would work. And then I haven't bought any galvanized for a while, but it usually sells pretty good for me. French pot, large galvanized. This is just a repro, but I like these shapes. They're really good for putting like tall picks of cotton or the wheat. So as we move into the not fall season, I know it's July, but for us makers, move into our fall making season, I'm going to have some of that taller floral to display. I went ahead and picked this up. It was $2, and I think I'm going to milk paint it. So weigh in real quick. What do y'all want to see this evening? If you want to see me milk paint the cutting board or the galvanized bucket. Weigh in. I've got some water here. I haven't used milk paint for a little while. I've been doing a lot of DIY, so I wanted to get some milk painting in. Teresa says do the cutting board. The bucket, one-on-one, bucket. All right, we're on, Teresa. People are sick of seeing my cutting boards. No, y'all are so kind. I have a cutting board on almost every video and y'all can't get enough of them. I just keep making them. This will be a good opportunity to show y'all how the milk paint works on metal too. There is questionable dust down in the bottom, but I'm not gonna paint the inside. Probably. If I do, I'll just like stop at one of these lips so it looks like it makes sense. Oops, and I put all my junk in front of my paint cabinet. That was not very smart. Hold, please. Let's move these guys before I step on them. Oh, while I pick out some paint colors, I'll tease you with those. So I was live this morning in the Jamie Ray Vintage Retailers group every Friday, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I can drop a link to that later. But I made these on a live and now I'm obsessed. Obsessed. All right, what color do we want to do? I've got Red Wagon. I've got some Moody Blue, not very much. Ooh, how about basil? We haven't painted anything basil for a while. I've got red, I've got green. Bethany wanted to see the cutting board. She loves seeing what I do with all of them. Hey, Bethany, I'll do that one on a Facebook Live next week. Yes, ma'am, Jane. I will show you how to make it stick. What color do we want to do? Green, white, black. I've got a light green pantry door. It's kind of like apothecary. I've got some more. Oh, olive. This is a really great green. Oh, or there's some Moody Blue too. Jane says basil. I knew you'd say basil, girl. Tina says apothecary. Apothecary's DIY. This one's kind of like apothecary. Green, 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 green. Okay, let's go basil. It'll be a really good fall into winter color. So the trick is going to be, okay, let me show you these first since I teased you. Since I teased you, I'll show you these first. These are off of my cutting boards. So imagine I cut this one, right, by myself, and I cut this little piece off and it falls to the ground off my square board. Well, that's what these little pieces are. All the little scraps from my cutting boards. And I did not know what to do with them forever. I've got hundreds, literally, probably hundreds of them. Or 800, 100. And so I went ahead and attached them to little scrap pieces of wood, and now I've got these bookends. On this side, I decoupaged them with the Scientific Butterflies decoupage paper. And then this side I left just plain wood. And that way you've got double-sided. So I thought that was kind of clever, and then I posted them in a couple groups and everybody seemed to love them, so now I'm gonna have to make a million. Yes, Teresa, I know you've probably got some cutoffs too. All right, let's do a little milk painting. So the trick, as I was saying before I interrupted myself, the trick to get your milk paint to stick is going to be using the Extra Bond. So if you've never used milk paint before, it's a powdered paint. You mix it with water. And you have to use it right away. You can't let it sit out for days because it will gel up and gum up and go bad. So you only mix up as much as you want for your project. I've grabbed these old measuring cups whenever I'm at estate sales and stuff for this reason. And I'll do a 1/4 cup of powder and a 1/4 cup of water. That'll probably be a little more than I need for this, but I'll probably go ahead and do the same color on the cutting board, or I have a million other things I can grab and throw the extra paint on. I would rather have enough and not have to mix up more. Oops, it's up 4. Just kidding. I'm going to add the water first. I like to do that, otherwise it's a little harder to mix if you do it the other way around and your powder flies everywhere. So 1/4 cup water, 1/4 cup powder. And then if I'm painting furniture, I use an immersion blender or a mixer and really mix my paint up well. If you have little clumps in your paint, you can sand them back after it dries, but that can kind of influence some extra chipping. So if you're painting furniture, you want a really smooth finish, mix, mix, mix. Use a tool to mix with, an immersion blender or something. When I'm just painting smalls like this, or I want an extra chippy finish, I usually just hand mix, especially when it's real small batches. Teresa says she knows what she'll be making. Yes, ma'am. Make those bookends, and when you make them, drop pictures in my creative group, please. I'd love to see y'all's take on them. Robin said, way to make lemonade out of lemons. Thank you, ma'am. I try. And Terry hasn't got on the decoupage wagon yet. And Teresa said jump. I would say jump too, because it's so easy. Like, I'm not an artiste, and that can add such a pretty detailed image so easily. I use the JRV papers, and I sell them on my website as well. They are amazing, amazing quality. They come in really big sheets, so they're great for furniture, but then you can cut them up for little projects too. So try them out. They're almost like $6.95 a sheet, and they ship for $3.95. So they're inexpensive, an inexpensive craft to try. Okay, that's mixed up. Now I'm going to add the Extra Bond. The Extra Bond is an additive that is going to help your milk paint adhere to a slick or shiny surface. So if I'm painting this shiny metal, or if I'm painting a piece of furniture that has a really shiny top coat on it, I'm going to want to use the Extra Bond. Otherwise, my paint is all just going to fall off. And we don't want that. If I were painting something like really dry old wood, like my decor boards, I don't use the Extra Bond because the paint adheres and really soaks into that dry wood. I'm just checking out my consistency here. The paint will thicken up as it sits. This looks just a touch runny. But I always say that, and then I add a little more paint, and then it thickens. Milk paint can be a little intimidating to people sometimes because of this mixing. Takes a little practice. I would say the very first time you use it, I just sprinkled in like 1 more tablespoon. That's it. I'd say the very first time you use it, don't paint like a precious antique. Start with something small. The milk paint packages also come in tiny sample sizes that are around $9. So it's an inexpensive paint to try out as well. And same with the Bond. It comes in adorable little samples to just try it. Okay. Kim, I sell this milk paint on my website. I carry the Sweet Pickins brand. Oops. So if you click the link I'm about to drop, you can check it out too. Thank you guys for being patient while I drop links. I have a friend, Veronica from Chasing Sunshine. Y'all may know her, who has talked about taking turns dropping links for each other, and I need to message her. So Veronica, if you are watching, I have not forgotten, doll. I will get with you. Okay, so I just dropped the link to the milk paint collection, and it shows all the colors I have and all the top coats and all that good stuff. Okay, so now that I've got the proportions of the paint I want in there, it's a little bit thicker, a little bit better, and it's going to be runnier than your DIY paint. If y'all are used to the real thick clay and chalk paints, this is going to be runnier. With the Bond, it says 1 part paint to half part Bond. So if I had a half a cup of paint, it'd say 1/4 cup Bond. But I don't do that much. You're welcome for the link. I just do a splash, honestly, like a little beep. Because I don't mind a little bit of chipping. But again, first time you're using this, follow the directions, see how it plays. I wouldn't want to lead you astray. My little stirs are pretty dirty. I need to clean my craft card up. All right, so now I've got the powder mixed with the water, and I have put the bond in, just a splash. I've got about, oh, I'd say a total of like, it's closer to 3/4 a cup of paint because I added a little extra, and a splash of bond. You can see it's starting to thicken up a little bit, but it's still going to be pretty thin. And that's all there is to it. So I know that intimidates some people, but I promise the effect that it gives is worth it. So I'm going to start with this upside down. I will paint the bottom off camera because I need to remove the sticker. Don't yell at me. And I'm going to paint this. As I'm painting, I am going to use my heat gun to dry it because I want to try to force some chipping and some crackling. I put the bond in, so that'll make it a little bit harder, but if you hold the heat over this paint long enough, it will do it. Teresa bought the milk paint and still hasn't tried it. Hey, Teresa, girlfriend, I feel you. It's like me with the epoxy. Sometimes we're just really intimidated to try new things, but then as soon as we do it, we realize that we are very capable and it is very rewarding. Maybe we should challenge each other. A little friendly challenge. Amy says she feels like you never know what you're going to get with the milk paint, and it's a surprise. It can be unpredictable. If you're trying it on a new surface, or if you think you clean your piece and you left some oils on there, milk paint will do what it wants to do. And some people don't like that, and that's totally understandable. Some people don't like the chippy finish either. They're wrong, but I'm kidding. To each their own. So one coat here, one coat coverage for sure. Ooh, flopping paint everywhere. And if you get this on your clothes and stuff, it's not going to come out, y'all. So keep that in mind. The DIY paint is a little more forgiving. If you run and use water, it comes off. So I sacrificed my Lazy Susan for a project, and I'm regretting it now because I don't have anything up here to turn my projects on. I need to find more at the thrift store. I'm using a Klingon F40. This is the medium-sized flat Klingon that I carry. It's putting this paint on very quickly and nicely. And then, because the paint is a little bit harder to clean, I use my Klingons always with the milk paint. I just stick this in a cup of water overnight. That milk paint just falls out the next morning. I'll check comments here in just a second. If y'all have any questions about milk paint so far, I think y'all are just chatting with each other. Oops. The stickers in. I thought I got the stickers off of everything earlier. Must have missed this one completely. So I think we should just kind of do this every Friday. Hop on live over here on the YouTubes, do a thrift haul, paint some junk. I've been having fun being more regular with my lives again. Okay, let's see if there's any questions. Oh, Bethany said she went through her father-in-law's barn and got a ton of metal pieces because of me. I gave her so many ideas on how to use them. Bethany, are you in my creative group? If so, please, please, please drop pictures when you make projects. I'd love to see them. Amy said, even though the milk paint is unpredictable, she's never been disappointed. Me either, ma'am. And Jane says she loves the milk paint when I do it. Thank you. Not when she does it, apparently. Terry, yes, I did keep the little Santa from the roadside haul. I did. I am going to keep him for myself. And I found a match at the found a match at the thrift store today, and I called and tried to buy it over the phone, and she's like, it's literally in somebody's cart right now, and it was only 50 cents, and I almost cried. But it's okay. There'll be more. There'll be more. That's funny you brought that up. That was like right before this live. You can't keep it, right? Stephanie, I can't keep what, honey? Sorry. The milk paint? I can't keep the extra? Or what? Amy said Target had little Santas in a dollar spot. I'll have to check that out. Hello, Diane Scott. How are you? Okay. Caught up on comments. Thank you for being patient. Oh, I've got 75 people on. Hello, everybody. I'm just doing a little milk painting. So I'm going to dry this up, but in a couple of spots, I'm going to hold the heat there a little longer. We're going to see if we can get it to crackle. Oh, Amy said Target had Lazy Susans. Sorry, dear. I'm talking about a million different things. I lose track. So I don't always heat gun things, mostly to dry things up a little faster on lives, but milk paint is an exception when I want crackling. I'm going to come around the front here so I can see better with the light. Excuse me. And I've got a couple of little drippies. So you've got to watch that with the milk paint too, because like I said, it is thinner. Be mindful. Now while I'm trying to force a little bit of crackling and chipping, I don't want the paint to fall completely off. So that's why I put the extra bond in. And if I, oh hello, I'm very close, sorry. If I do it correctly here, it'll work. So we're starting to get a little dry right here, so I'm going to focus on this little spot. Let's go a little closer to the handle. So it looks like it'll make sense. And it's starting to bubble up right there. I don't know if you guys can actually see that far away. That's what I want. And of course, when you're heat gunning metal, be very careful because it's going to get really hot. Nothing like watching paint dry. All right, y'all chit chat in the comments for a minute. I'll get this dried up. Stephanie says she still loves Chippy. I do too. I don't think Chippy's ever gonna actually go out of style, but I know it's not for everybody. Although this is really not wanting to chip up a lot. It might not. We'll see what happens. That's where the unpredictableness comes in. It's bubbling. Have no fear. I've got more ideas. Kim, if you don't want it to crack and chip, that's when you add the extra bond. And the extra bond will make it go on any finish without all peeling off. And you can sand milk paint down to like a super buttery smooth finish. So it can give a very clean modern look too. But the star of the show with milk paint, in my opinion, is the chippiness factor. No, Stephanie, you cannot keep the milk paint. Whatever you mix up, you've got to use within a couple hours or so, or it's not going to be any good. You can like cover it and stick it in the fridge for a couple hours, but that is it. Oh, Terry said she went to get the cookie cutters and she was too late. I'm sorry, darling. Things do sell fast. I forget to mention that. If you guys ever see something you want, you've got to get it fast. And if you buy more than one thing within a couple of hours, I will definitely, yep, there, sold. Jeannie grabbed them. I will definitely combine shipping. Sorry about that. I knew somebody was going to love that. Hey, Michelle Mole. Finally made it to a live. Welcome, dear. You're catching the end, so you'll have to catch the replay, but chat away while I'm finishing up. I was showing how to use milk paint on metal. And then, of course, with this, I'm thinking we'll probably do some kind of stencil or something, too. Alright, we're almost dry. Not getting a lot of chipping, that's alright. Come over here to focus a little bit more. Make a couple of these areas bubble. And I'm thinking, once I hit it with that sandpaper, it's going to go. Keep in mind, when you're chipping your paint back, the color underneath is what's going to show through. So you want to make sure you're painting it a color that's going to look good with the underneath color. I've made that mistake before, or what came through just didn't really look great. It's frustrating. So as I'm hitting it with the heat gun, you can see all those little bubbles there pop up. That's what I'm going for right now. Bethany says, any idea what to do with an old wooden army box? I stored it from the barn. It's pretty long, so I thought maybe putting legs on it. Yes, ma'am. Put some legs on that bad boy and turn it into a coffee table or a blanket box down at the end of a bed. You know I put legs on anything. I would store blankets inside of it, most likely. Or like, you know, everybody has like a area where they need to store like old special cards and memories and stuff, a memory box. How big is it? Sounds fancy. I want to see all the stuff you guys are talking about. Y'all share your pictures and tag me on my creative page. Okay, this is almost dry. Now I've got a piece of 220 grit sandpaper here. It is a little worn out, so I'd say it's probably closer to like a 400. And see this spot here? I even burned the paint because I held it there so long. So now, when I go to sand that off, that paint is going to chip back. Find another spot I did it to. You can see how it's flaking off here. What I'm kind of confused about is it's still green underneath. I don't know why the metal's not coming back as much, but I think maybe once I seal it, it'll turn a little more silver. This is why milk paint on a vibe is always questionable. But I'm glad I reiterated that it will do what it wants to do. There, some of it's peeking through a little bit. So we'll hit this in a couple of areas, and then we need to decide what kind of wax we want to use on it. 3 foot by 1 foot. Yeah, use it for a bench. That'll be gorgeous. I love old boxes, old storage boxes, wooden ones especially. Oh, my paint's still wet right there. Down in that little crack. Make that little detail seam pop a little bit. Dark wax, says Jane. Yes, ma'am. That's what I was thinking too. Sorry if that noise is kind of bad. See how it distresses back those little details? But it's sticking. It's sticking really well. And that's why I didn't put too much bond in. I think I might have been able to get away with no bond on this metal because it's, that galvanized is kind of porous, but I didn't want to risk it completely. I didn't want it to all just fall off on camera. That is the worst. See what I was talking about? Like there's some little chunks in your paint if you don't mix it well enough. Now if I go and I sand that chunk back, it'll chip off and expose what's underneath. And that's why I was saying if you are painting furniture and you don't want that to happen, make sure you mix it really, really well. So there's some texture on that galvanized down there. Hit it with that sandpaper and it comes off just beautifully. Ooh, Terry's going to a big old estate sale tomorrow. I have not been to an estate sale this summer. I need to go to one. A couple garage sales. Jane says everybody puts things in the barn. That's where all the amazing treasures are. Yes, Jane, I agree. All right, so milk paint over metal. I'm glad I used milk paint tonight. A lot of y'all haven't used it before. There were quite a few questions. If you are catching the replay and you have questions about milk paint, leave them down in the comments. I'll come back and check them here over the next day or so. I like the green and the silver, the galvanized. Let's see here. I was thinking of one little stencil, not anything crazy. I thought I had, yes, a fall word pack. Apple cider, hay rides, hot cocoa, football sweaters, leaves, pumpkins. Leaves might be cute. Not doing it for me. What about, I've got pumpkin patch, open daily. You pick. That one's like too big. I don't like that either. How about a mini grain sack? You can never go wrong with those. Got a little Royal River seamless. I like that better. And then it won't be just fall. Ooh, transfer. How do you do transfers on milk paint? So Teresa, you can do them. If it's really, really chipping off, you would want a top coat. Now, if it's really, really chippy and you use a liquid top coat, that can promote some more chipping. So you've got to be careful. It's a delicate process. I would recommend doing using really dry wood, milk paint transfer, not like shiny surface and then milk paint transfer. Bri's great at stencils. Ooh, I don't know about all that. Terry said she wants to paint a very old cabinet. It came off of a ship and she was told she was told it came off a ship. It's super dark and she doesn't know where to start. Terry, what color are you wanting to paint it? Let's start with that. So I've got, this is one of the stencils out of the JRV mini grain sack, and I've got a 3/8 inch JRV stencil brush. Let's go with just some white. Keep it nice and clean and simple, and then we can dark wax the stencil area a little bit too. So Terry, I'm asking what color you're wanting to paint the cabinet. If it's a really dark old wood and you're wanting to paint it white, it might need sealed before you paint it, because there's a big possibility for bleed through. That's when the colors from your wood tannins come up through your paint. With those old pieces, yeah, you're wanting to paint it off white. I was figuring. So tell me about the dark wood. Is the wood really dry? Does it have like a shiny lacquer top coat on it? I'm going to go ahead and tape this stencil down. I don't always do that, but since it's a curved surface, it's going to make my life so much easier. Make sure it's straight. And then I've got DIY White Swan. This is my favorite warm white. Well, this is the warm white by DIY, but it's my favorite white for sure. Now, key to stenciling, you're going to want a very dry brush. So I'm going to dip just a little on the tip of my brush, and then I'm actually going to take my brush and offload most of that paint onto the drop cloth. So I've got literally nothing here. Real light hand, and I'm going to do a little bit of a swirling motion right over my stencil. My bristles are a little firm. Hold on. There we go. I just washed all my brushes the other day. So some people do more of a tapping motion. I have found that this swirl is faster and looks a little more efficient. A little heavy-handed there. But you can still get bleed through or bleed under if you push too hard. So real light hand, real dry brush. Maybe it's walnut. Yeah, it sounds like you're gonna, I would recommend sealing it first, Terry. So I use shellac most of the time when I seal up super dark wood. DIY paint makes a primer as well called Salvation Solution, but it does come in a pretty small can. Just keep that in mind. I don't even think I have an open one right now. And it's a stain blocker, but it's a smaller can. It'd probably be slightly more cost efficient, honestly, to just use shellac this time. And they have it in the spray can, the shellac product, but it has gone way up in price. So for this application, if it's a big piece, I might just get the liquid and brush it on. What is everybody up to this weekend? It's Friday. Our pool is now open. If you've been following along, we've been battling a few things this year, but it is open and it's full of water, so I'm hanging out at home. I'm going to do some creating. I'm going to finish up a kitchen makeover. I'll have that video up on my channel Sunday. Kitchen deep clean and redecorate. I've done some really great things in there and I cannot wait to show you guys. I've been wanting to sneak peek it. But one of my fellow YouTube friends told me with makeover videos, it's best to save your footage up and show the whole process at once. Usually the views are a little better. So I'm trying to be patient. Ooh, Michelle's going to the farmer's market in the morning. Enjoy. I should go and get some produce because my garden went this year. It made me so sad. I've got one cucumber out of that thing. The beans were just budding, right? They're budding. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have some green beans. Something came and ate them down to nubs. Nubs and my pepper plants. The whole pepper plant. Had 3 pepper plants, just gone overnight. I wanted to cry. That's never happened before. And I have a little fence around my garden. I don't know what got him. It was so sad, but it's okay. I didn't really put enough time or attention into it this year. I just had too many things going on. I probably had no business growing it, but I tried. I should probably get some zucchinis eventually. Maybe a couple tomatoes. It's fine. You can't win them all. So I love these little mini grain sack stencils. They look good on bigger projects like this, but they are great for crafters. We know that craft season, making season is coming up for the holidays. If you're a maker, it's here, it's time. And to produce a ton of cute little shelf-sitting signs or little bagged topiaries, these little grain sack minis are perfect. Any of the minis. And I do love galvanized metal, don't get me wrong. But I think it's more of like a spring summer thing. So I thought I would make this darker. Oh, Jane's going to the lake to see her grandkids tomorrow. Jane, I hope you have so much fun. Carolyn's heading out to the Coast Vintage Market in Laguna on Sunday. That sounds like a blast. Teresa's good at growing weeds. I've got plenty of those, darling. Okay, I'm going to take off the tape. It'll be the moment of reveal here. There might be a couple spots that got a little, yeah, right up here where I called it. A little bleedy, but that's okay. We'll work with it. So if you're not live and talking, you get a nice, super crisp image. And I like these stencils. You see how thick they are? It really gives you like almost a raised image. Now my trick, I'm going to take my little Cricut weeding tool here and pull off that extra before I dry it. And I usually about 99% of the time distress my stencils anyway, because I like, y'all know I like that distressed look, so it doesn't really matter. So I just took my little Cricut tool and just kind of pulled off that extra paint. No biggie. Perfectly imperfect. Oh, is that chipping new? When did that piece happen? I thought we would get a few more bigger pieces like that, I'm not gonna lie. Janine Harris, hello. You are super late, ma'am. You're gonna have to catch the replay. We're just finishing up, but I showed a really cute farmhouse haul, only about 15 items or so tonight. And then we just did a little milk paint on metal, because a lot of people did not know that you could milk paint your metal. But the replay is available. And usually the live chats are available on these, you guys. I've had a couple people say recently that they couldn't find them. I think the video has to process for a little while, like process overnight almost. And then usually the live chat will appear. We've been on for just over an hour, so I'm going to get this waxed up and we'll call it a night. Okay, so now that it's dry, ow, it's hot. I told you. Now that it's dry, I'm going to take that same sandpaper again. This is probably down to like a 400 grit. That's even a little bit much. I like to keep some of these really used pieces for stencils and stuff. That way it doesn't make your distressing look scratchy. Okay, now, since I did that over a clay-based paint, it's going to appear a little chalky, and that's okay. Don't panic. Just, whoops, I saw my tag on that. You'll wipe it back. If you don't want it to turn chalky like that, then I wouldn't probably distress it. Maybe a little wet distress instead. Since that milk paint isn't sealed yet, it's going to sit down in the pores a little bit. Ah, now it wants to chip back just a little. I might get a little additional chipping overnight. That does happen too, so just be aware. Sounds like deer. That's what I thought too, Stephanie, that eating my garden clear down to the nubs, but I was like, I've never seen a deer in our backyard. We've got a whole fence, but it's really what it sounds like. It could be. All right, let's do some wax and we'll get out of here. I've got Sweet Pickins Dark Beeswax and Sweet Pickins Clear Beeswax. And if you do a simple stencil like this, you basically have a double-sided container. You know, you can keep it with the stencil out, you can flip it around so nobody can see it. I might go through and paint the inside rim. What do y'all think? That way, just when it's sitting there, it's not so shiny in your face. So I have my beeswax here in a mason jar because I dropped the plastic container a long time ago and broke it. So I just threw mine in a mason jar. And this beeswax is amazing. I love the DIY wax. I love the Sweet Pickins wax. Both of them are great. The Sweet Pickins wax smells so good, like citrusy. And it is amazing on raw wood. So like if you've got an old dresser and the drawers inside just need refreshed, give them a good deep clean and then rub some of this beeswax inside the wooden drawers. It does take a little bit longer to dry than the DIY, I would say. You know, like 48, 72 hours, where the DIY feels a little drier after just like 24. So keep that in mind. Yeah, paint that down a little on the inside, Jane said. I'll do that. I'll do that off camera. I've got enough paint left. And that way, if there's no floral or anything in it, or maybe if like you have spindles or something in it, you can still see the inside. But we won't waste paint and go all the way down. Now, I'm putting the clear wax on first as kind of a buffer. If I went straight on with the dark wax, it would really seep down into that dry milk paint. And then this way, I have a little barrier. I'll have more control. Yeah, Michelle, the wax really brings out the grain of wood. It really richens up the paint. Or then even if you just have like a little piece of like leather or metal. I'm trying to see if I have anything rusty back here. Okay, so like even like old rusty metal, if you take it and use the beeswax on it, see how it just really brings everything back to life. So I use it on a lot of stuff. All right, and then let's go with a chip brush, nothing fancy, and our dark wax. Now the dark wax and the black wax in the Sweet Pickins line is a little denser than the DIY. Thank you, Michelle. She says it was fun and the tin is beautiful. I appreciate it. I love painting things. And I'm gonna go in little stippling, little rubbing around kind of like the handles. Think about the areas where somebody was carrying it and it got grungy and gross over the years. And that's just gonna add some really nice aged patina without the age. It's gonna be an instant patina. Go up here around the rim a little bit. Ooh, Jane, now I want to paint a piece of furniture with this color. It's been a while. I'm itching to paint furniture. I did that one piece for my living room and then I've got real busy. Oops, I found some wet paint somewhere. I got real busy again, but I'm going to get some more furniture done for my booth very, 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 very soon. So again, if you are new, this is milk paint over metal, all the paint products and my flips tonight. My thrift haul, all listed up on my website already, upcycledbybri.com. I have a link down in the description. I have it dropped in the comments. But if you have any questions, if you're catching the replay, let me know about milk paint or about any of the items I had tonight. I think this is kind of our new Friday night thing. show you this a little closer. So I'm kind of just, dry brushing that wax. Struggling to try to get this wax. Dry brushing the wax over all that texture that I wet distressed or sanded back at the bottom. See, and then this little piece right here, that paint still wants to chip off just a little. So like I said, it might do it a little more overnight, but it shouldn't be a lot since I used the bond. Now we'll go just a little bit over this white paint. And kind of where all of that chalky dust was. You'll never even notice I sanded it. And like, I barely have any wax on my brush right now, so this is just like, basically like a dry brush, but it's a little more forgiving than using paint. It's a little heavy right there. It's hard to tell when I've got my ring light pointed right at it. And since I put that clear down, I can kind of go back through and erase a little of the dark if I need to. Tina asked what I put on my cutting board to preserve it, but still be able to use it. That is a great question, Tina. I use Sweet Pickins hemp oil. It's a food safe product. Refreshes your wood, so anytime I have a cutting board that I need to sand down and refinish and redo that I still want to use, I seal it up with the hemp oil. And I have these on my website in very reasonable sizes. I have the little tiny samples if you want to try it out. It would be enough to do a few cutting boards. Stephanie says they have a ton of deer that aren't scared and they'll come right up and eat the flowers and your pots and watch you through the window. Savages. See, we don't have deer like that in our neighborhood. We have plenty of deer in Kansas, but not in the neighborhood. Teresa said, can you dip the brush into the wax directly? I know you can't do it to the paint. Teresa, I really try not to. You see me dipping everything out because these are all natural products, Sweet Pickins and DIY. There's like 0.002 or something crazy, tiny amount of preservative in them, like nothing hardly. So if you double dip, you can cause mold and cross-contamination. Sometimes you'll see me dip my brush into paint cans and stuff, but it's usually because I probably only got this much left, or, you know, like I'm on the last little scraping of my wax. And because I'm a maker, I do go through things a little faster. But I really try to pour out into other containers as much as I can. Okay, this is already up for sale on my site. I will get staged pictures probably tomorrow when I'm losing my son and get those updated. I will paint the inside room of that just a little bit, but I love the way it came out. You can definitely use milk paint on metal. If you didn't know, now you know. Some fun waxing. I had so much fun hanging out with y'all tonight. Thank you for hopping on. If you're catching the replay, drop me a thumbs up, share this out with a friend, give me some comments. It's going to help me grow here. And I will have an edited video up for y'all on Sunday. Oh, it was Dottie's first time here. Well, welcome, Dottie. I'm popping off for now, but jump back, watch from the beginning. I have some fun finds and did a little bit of painting this evening. So thanks again, y'all. Have a wonderful night and weekend. And I'll have a video up Sunday. Bye-bye.